Okay guys, welcome back. It took approximately about 1 hour from registering. So when we registered for Whooshkaa in our last video, it took approximately about an hour or a little bit around over an hour to get approved for Whooshkaa podcast. You may be asking, why do they ask and why do they take time to approve? Well, my guess is that it's a way for them to police and make sure that there's not some sort of automated robot signing up or a web farm with people just being hired to sign up and create spam and send out content that has no value or of explicit nature. So that would be my guess, and to also make sure that you're a real person and going to create value. So going from there, once you get your sign up message, you'll get a sign up message from Whooshkaa, and once you receive that approval, you'll be able to go ahead and click on that link. You just go ahead and click on that link, and then you go ahead, once you click on that link, it'll open up in the web browser, and then you will get the opportunity to put a password in of your leisure. I recommend to use LastPass. It's a great application. That way you can create and generate very unique, sophisticated passwords. And the only password you have to remember is the master password. So you keep that sacred, keep that between yourself and probably one or two other loved ones so they know about it. And it's very important information to keep. At the same time, it helps you keep everything well managed and organized. That's LastPass. So once you've either set up using LastPass, or if you do not know about LastPass, I recommend going out and finding a YouTube video about how to set it up and going to LastPass website by Googling it. If you cannot find information, please let me know and we can look at providing some information about setting up LastPass. But getting back to Whooshkaa now, once you have a very sophisticated password, they recommend to have a minimum of 8 characters. So you want to have uppercase characters and lowercase, and also numbers and non-numbers also. So, you know, you want to have other symbols of that nature involved in it. So that's why I would recommend LastPass, but you choose what you want to do. Once you've done that, you go ahead and set the password. And once that is done, LastPass will automatically put it into my management, and then I can go ahead and sign in. So with the registered email that you use to sign up for Whooshkaa. And once you're in, you'll see that it's bare, and you'll see your name over here on the left-hand side. Yes, the left-hand side it should be on of your screen, your name, and you can click on it and fold down the tabs and close those tabs. So like that. Well, if you already have a show, you can go ahead and import it if you want to, but of course that would require a little bit more technical nature, because you would need to redirect links from your old podcast provider, your old podcast provider, or your other paid podcast hosts. If you want to come over to this free host, would have to allow you to do that. Well, they should anyway. Let us know if you need more information about importing a podcast. But for the focus, we'll keep it on creating a new show. So first of all, we're going to call it Recharge Life. Like I said in our last one, we're setting up a podcast for my wife and I, our original blog when we first come on the digital world around 2007 or 8 it was. And we're going to just call it Recharge Life and Recharge Life Podcast, I think we'll call it. And you can, I think for this purpose, I will put podcast down here, but that's up to you. You can decide to maybe put podcasts up there. You don't have to even put podcasts in it. It's up to you what the title you want there. And of course you would need a subtitle down here. And you can do it simply like that. It's up to you how to do it. If you want more clarity around that, some more tips and hints, just let us know. We're here to help you and guide you. And so then we're going to put a simple description about the podcast. So we're going to say Recharge Live Podcast is about thriving on your and you can write more in your description. I'm keeping it brief for the time being to just get us through the information. Just to get us through that information. Grammarly is just an app I use that's helpful for creating good grammar. Most podcasts would be in English, so if you speak another language, you would have to put it in. Most will only have US English. Sometimes they might have it in Australian English, UK English, Canadian, but this one, it looks like it's only English. It only looks, oh, sorry, they do have Australian English. So you have different forms of English, so you need to scroll down if you want different forms of English. Wow, they've even got Philippines English, New Zealand, so you don't have to stick to the US English. So, and you got even Ireland English, so you go ahead and find the English that you want. Obviously that we all have a different way of saying things in English language, and anyway, that can make it a little bit more clearer for you. Okay, so of course you need to decide whether you want to create episodes or a serial. I would recommend probably sticking to an episodes, particularly if you're in the entrepreneurial space and around that type of niche. Depending on your niche, most niches would stick more into the episode area of things. But if you feel that a serial is what you want, which is more seasonal, so example, that season could be between, a certain amount of months. It could be only for 4 months of the year, or say 5 months, example sake, a certain amount of months per year. But if not, if you believe that this will be ongoing or a continual pattern type of thing, stick to episodes. And just for this, you would just put season 1, because you're sticking to episodes. And then you type the name of the author, so your name, and then your email address that you used, and then you want to put in the primary category that you're going to fit in. So whatever that primary category you believe fits your niche, and you can add additional categories, but keep in mind, I think, so you can put in additional. So we're just going to look through here for a few others. And self-help. That is what we're going to go for. Yes, it says, please note, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, does not recognize additional categories. So make sure that, because if it was not explained earlier, remember, I'm pretty sure in the earlier video I said that iTunes or the Apple Podcast is like your satellite, a main transmitter, and it's the thing. It's like the central web location where your podcasts can beam out to other smaller and minor applications that you'll learn across the way. But the most important thing is to stick in the mind, keep it simple, is Apple Podcasts, iTunes for now. And so for that, you need to make sure that that primary category that you choose to use fits your niche and aligns to your core and your vision and mission, obviously. And then you can put some copyright text down there. And for this sake, we're going to put recharge life copy right 2019. You can write however you want to write it, or obviously if you have a legal friend, someone who knows about copywriting, copyrights, you may want to seek their guidance on that. Down here for tracking your URL, you do not need to concern yourself with that for a moment for setting up. External shows, we won't concern ourselves with that. That's more advanced. And the normalizer will tick that. So please go ahead and tick that. I recommend to set it at 16. That's the level that I like to use, and that's what Apple iTunes recommends. It also says in the question mark here, of course, 15 is very good for Google podcasts, and then you have 14 for Amazon Alexa. But of course, you want to focus on, and keeping it simple, Apple iTunes. That's the most important thing. Build around your content around the Apple iTunes transmitter, or seeing it as a satellite, a main transmitter. Okay? And then down here, you would put the explicit rating. So if it's clean, just go ahead and put clean. Okay, now that you've put all your description and all that information we just spoke about, what you will need to do now before you can create and press that create button, you need to upload an image between 3000 to 3000, up to the 3000 to 3000 pixels at a minimum of 14 by 14 pixels. So we're going to show you how to create a basic one and how we're going to do it for this podcast by using Canva. So we'll stop this recording now, and then the next video will show you how to create that image and upload it to here so we can get to the next spot in getting our podcast hosting off the ground.